This
Mary
conference
Jo
will now
Bohart.
be recorded.
Okay, very good. 7 o'clock. I will call the meeting of the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission to order on Thursday, May 4th at 7:01 p.m. Uh, First thing I have to read is, let's hang on, let me get here. Uh, in accordance with Governor Baker's COVID-19 executive order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and in remote participation, votes will be taken through roll call. Okay, that's that business. Next, we get to the roll call, and I'll start that with Alan Pease. Well, I'll come back to Alan. Maybe he's away from his computer for a minute since he has no picture. Amanda Reed,
Present.
Barbara Yoakum,
Here.
Mary Jo Bohart,
Present.
uh, Guy Corbisero, the chair, is here, I think. Uh, Chris Monroe,
Christopher Monroe, present.
Kyle Nartowitz.
It was soft, but he said it.
Okay, very good. I saw it go off and on. Laura Schifrin,
Laura Schifrin, present.
Peter Cunningham,
Yeah, Peter Cunningham present.
Rick Ward.
Rick Ward, alternate, is here.
Oh, okay. Not really Rick. Okay. Roger Hoyt
Roger Hoyt, present.
and Stacy Donahue.
I'm here.
Okay, very good. And Alan Pease, are you here now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, very good. Little gargle, but we heard you. So that is the roll call of members. Next item on the agenda is the minutes, the MRPC minutes for April 6, 2023. They were in the handout materials that are on the website. The link was on the invite to get here. So hopefully people have had a chance to review them. And do we have any additions, subtractions, or corrections?
I'd offer a
Uh,
motion that we approve the minutes from our meeting of April 6th, 2023.
okay, thank you, Peter. Do I have a second?
Second, Alan Pease.
Thank you, Alan. I have a motion and a second. Again, any additions, subtractions, corrections? Not hearing all, I'll call the roll. Alan Pease,
Aye.
Amanda Reed,
Aye.
Barbara Yoakum.
Abstain. I wasn't there last time.
Okay, thank you. Mary Jo Bohart.
Aye.
Guy Corbisero, the chair votes aye. Uh, Christopher Monroe,
Aye.
Kyle Nartowitz,
Aye.
Laura Schifrin,
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Peter Cunningham,
Yeah, Cunningham, aye.
Roger Hoyt,
Hoyt, aye.
and Stacy Donahue.
Aye.
Okay, that's everybody on my list, but if I did miss anybody, please speak up. Okay, that is accepted unanimously, so we move on to cash schedule. Laura, will you take this, or do you want to pass it on to Holly or somebody?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay,
And I
great.
thank Linda for getting it out to everyone. The cash schedule as well as the general ledger detail. So beginning balance for April 1st, 2023 balances are $930,205.32. The cash receipts and transfers are $102,875.06. Total cash on hand before the warrant is $1,033,080.38, less the amount of the warrant, which is $180,008.80. Gotta love all those eights. And balance after the warrant, $853,071.58. And you have a delineation of where all those funds are. And then, are there any questions on the general ledger detail that you received? If there aren't any, I'll entertain a motion to accept the cash schedule subject to audit.
So moved, Alan Page.
Okay, that was Alan. We have a second.
Nobody wants to make a second?
I'll second
Okay.
that. Hoyt.
Okay, Roger Hoyt.
Okay, it is subject to audit. Any other questions? Hearing
We're
none,
not
Guy, do
hearing-
you want to take the vote?
Okay, very good. I'll call the roll. We'll start off again with Alan Pease, Amanda Reed,
Aye.
Barbara Yocum,
Aye.
Brad Harris. No, never mind, Brad. uh, Mary Jo Bohart.
Aye.
Guy Covasile, chair votes aye. Then we go down to Christopher Monroe.
Aye.
Al Nartowitz.
Aye.
Laura Schifrin.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Peter Cunningham.
Yeah, Cunningham, aye.
Roger Hoyt.
Aye.
Stacy Donahue.
Aye.
Okay, very good. The cash schedule is accepted unanimously, subject to audit. So we will move on to next item on the agenda, which is, I think we go here, guest announcements. George Cahill, I know you're a guest. Do you have any announcements, George?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any new update at this time other than what we have in the handout. If you have any question, I can answer.
Thank you, George. Not hearing any, I think we'll move on if you don't have anything else.
No, thank you.
Okay, we move on to section 5, administrative matters. I think that's your department, Glenn?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Kayla, can you enlarge the document size a little bit, please? You're the best. Thank you very much for your help. We're deferring a lot of this stuff until the next couple of meetings as appropriate. Basically, I want to do a budget summary tonight. So if, Kayla, you could go right down to, let's see, 5.4, I think. I just want to read this stuff. Election of officers, we'll do a nomination committee next month. We'll date to be determined. We'll work with Guy, Bob, and Christopher to pick a new date and time. 5.5 annual appointments will come at the next meeting on June 8th also. Let's see, 5.6 should be a budget summary. You can scroll right through that, thanks a lot, which is a separate document. There's a memorandum in the handouts, and it was also emailed to folks. Kayla, could you pull up that memorandum? You're ahead of me. Thank you very much, Kayla. I really appreciate that. And if you can make that a tad bigger, I'd appreciate it too. Well, GoToMeeting is not super friendly on the enlargement, is it? Okay. Very quickly, I have a few points in the budget summary. I like my
Glenn,
practice.
excuse me, Glenn, we're getting a lot of feedback from somebody. There's a couple of people that aren't muted. If everybody can mute that's not speaking, that would be helpful.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Laura.
it kind of sounds like Darth Vader in the background there.
I guess that's appropriate as May the 4th be with you. I see caller one, Mary
And
Jo.
Peter,
Glenn, how about Glenn? This is Mary Jo. Why don't you mute me until vote? I'm in the car. It's very.
Okay. You've been muted, Mary Jo. I think Kayla took care of it because I don't have the power, and Kayla's nodding. Thank you very much. And Peter muted, and I think that took care of it, whoever it was. Laura, thank you. I think we're all set now. Kayla, could you pull up point one a little bit? So we have a draft of the highlights of the budget. My practice has been to provide a draft in February, a draft in May, and then give full budget with all the details with a full Excel spreadsheet at the June meeting. Again, our June meeting is on the 8th at 7 p.m., and that's where we will, staff ask you the commissioners to adopt the budget. The projected revenue for FY24 is about 2.145 million, 2.144 million. Right now, we're operating in FY23 at about 1.9 million. So this is a pretty decent increase. We are getting more funds from the federal government and more funds from the federal government through the state governments. More local contracts and in our communities are getting some state funding, and then they're hiring us to do more work. We're extremely busy, and it's a good thing. And we have to also hire up with staff. We've got to do that very soon and get that advertised. That's on me. So I won't read every word, but I do want to hit a highlights. Additional revenue is highly likely because of the COVID era funds that are coming from the federal government through BIL or bill, through ARPA, through CARES Acts. This is the highest number of programs and dollars I've seen since the post-91 recession. That was second to this. We will exercise caution on the expense side of the budget as the grant programs will eventually terminate on or about June 30, 26, but there may be other programs that are coming down the pike to go beyond those. There may not, so we're going to proceed cautiously. By June 8th, what I'm going to do is provide a FY24 budget and also projections for FY25, FY26, and FY27. As I've made it public that I plan on retiring on or about June 30, 2026, and I want to make sure we have a good long-term 3-year financial plan so that everybody's comfortable with what we're doing for the future. Because the bottom line is that, or a bottom line, and a very important bullet in here later on, is that people have been working under extremely difficult conditions on the staff. The consumer price index or inflation rate has basically skyrocketed, and we have to reward some people that have been working very hard, and others at the lower end of the spectrum who are making below market rate. So I've been doing some analysis the last month or so. So we've got to make some adjustments going forward. So we project our expenses at item 2 to be about 2.2 million. That would be a projected deficit of only 3.3% or about 74 grand. In the past, I have said, I'll repeat it for newer folk, that if you can set up a budget and adopt it in early June for the upcoming fiscal year, and if your projected deficit is less than 20%, generally speaking, 99.9 times out of 100, you will make it through the upcoming fiscal year. Virtually, and when it gets lower almost to 1% or 0, you're at 3.3%. We will be fine. Our overhead rate right now under item number 4 is 128%. Right now, this is thumbnail sketch stuff. This is an estimate, projecting an overhead rate of about 120% or 1.195. So basically, what does that mean? What's going on? We're getting more money for people to charge directly to grants than admin expenses. So our pendulum or our seesaw is moving toward more direct costs to the budget. When you have more direct cost charges, your overhead rate goes down. When you have less direct cost charges, in other words, you don't have enough contracts or staff to charge to, then the overhead rate will climb up. So the overhead rate is trending in a better direction. 25-year average of the overhead rate of the organization is 125%. So we'd be under that, which is a good thing. Okay, Kayla, could you put number 5 up, the whole paragraph, please? And the additional revenue we've received in the last couple of months, there's a $375,000 and an 89,333. The 375 is 50% of, in item 5A, 50% of a $750,000 bipartisan infrastructure law for safe streets for all that the transportation department submitted and knocked out of the park. We are one of 14, I think, grantees in the Commonwealth for safe streets for all. Another, we're projected to do that over a couple of years, so I'm just arbitrarily projecting 375 per year. By June 8th, I'll talk to Brad more. We'll dial that in. It might be 372. It might be 200 this year and 550 next year. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out. But I'll need Brad's input for that. The other fund, the 89,333, that's a piece of a Federal Economic Development Administration, or EDA, Economic Adjustment Assistance Grant, or EAA, for the Future Industrial Lands for Long-Term Economic Recovery, or the FILTER project that I've been boring people with for several years. That was just awarded this week. Contract came in a day or two ago. We signed it and turned it around in a day. They gave us 30 days. We just got it done. Thanks to Karen's help, that was turned around on a dime. So those are a couple of big projects. That FILTER grant goes over, I believe, 18 months. I want Karen to correct me if I'm wrong now or later on. So those are good things. And we have other grants pending, and Karen received requests from one community this week to do 2 projects for that particular community. I'm not going to steal Karen's thunder. If she wants to talk about that, I defer. So things are running very well. Item 6, Kayla, if you could bring that up in center, please. And just 2 items left. The draft budget projection includes 2.5 salary increase across the board. In June, what I'll do is I probably will recommend a higher salary increase for all employees due to the significant increase in the inflation rate, or the consumer price index for New England. That's our benchmark. That's what we use to watch costs. And I mentioned already that there are some people at the lower rung of our ladder who are not being compensated at the market rate. By just doing percentages as raises, which we traditionally do, it doesn't bring up the people at the lower tier. At least 1 or 2 other RPAs have done a different formula. I'm not going to explain it tonight because I need to understand it better. You'll hear about it on June 8th. But we need to pay the market rate for 2 reasons. One is you want to keep the people you have, which is critical. 2, you need to be more. We, as an organization, an agency, need to be more competitive in the market. The Central Mass Regional Planning Commission is starting planners at about $5,000 or $8,000 more than we do. We've always been slightly higher paying than Central Mass Regional, but they've brought their base up, and we have to do the same. They would be our best direct, not competitor, but best market data, because we're all in Worcester County. Franklin Regional is a good litmus test, and so is Berkshire, but they're on the lower end of the scale because cost of living goes down as you proceed west away from the Boston market. And the converse is true as you proceed east. The last item is that it's just my disclaimer. Some of the above narrative numbers are subject to further analysis, research, and change through June 8th, 2023, because I'm going to do more research and I'm going to involve managers more in what we are doing, obviously. As I've talked to Brad and Linda and Karen and Jason here and there, small meetings, one-on-one meetings, small group meetings, but there'll be a lot more of those over the next 4 weeks. So we'll bring in the whole spreadsheet. We'll show you all the costs and the budget. But basically, our revenue is going to go up over the next 3 years, I project. We have to balance what we need to pay people market rate against if we can sustain that over time. Here's my bottom line. Sustainability, I'm less concerned about over the next 3 to 5 to 7 years for the organization. And why? I believe there are several untapped resources of funding that we haven't tapped into yet, bluntly. And that's in the area of local contracts and some state funds that we can pursue to easily sustain the costs of whatever we do for salaries this year. The last thing I would say, there's not a lot of money to save on the admin side. When you add up all the office costs, we have a lot of line items that contribute to overhead for, office rent and other things, and health insurance. Health insurance and insurances are dictated to us. Rent, we pay about 40% of the market rate for the square footage that we have. So that's a quick summary. Happy to answer questions. Happy to throw this back to you, Mr. Chairman, and have you move on. Thank you for your time this evening, folks, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Guy, you want to take it away from me? You're muted. Mr. Chairman's having a conversation with someone else. We'll wait for him to get back, and we're good. All set, sir.
There we go. Okay. I don't know what I did here, but my picture's gone. So you're all done, Glenn, on all your items. You're up to 5.4, election of officers.
I already
do you
covered
want?
that, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Actually, okay, my computer here is messing up. Let me get it here. Bylaws have been. Okay, I do not have the agenda up here, so we'll go to what's on the screen here. I was looking at my computer. The contact status report that was put in the handouts last month. If anybody have any questions on that? If not, you can read it. It's in last month's handouts. It's very extensive. It's about 18 pages, and it updates us on everything that everybody in every department's doing. So if you have any questions about your town, I'd suggest go back and check that out. Next item on the agenda is 6.1, Geographical Information Systems. Let's see, does anybody from that department have any information that they want to put out? That would be, Jason's not here. Kayla, are you here? I guess neither one is here.
I'm here.
Oh, do we have any questions from the members on that department? So nothing going on that department. Next department is planning and development. Does anybody have any questions in that? Or in planning and development, is there? I'm sorry, who was that? Oh, there you go, Karen. Okay, sorry.
Kayla's also here.
Okay.
I just had a couple of things. We've gotten a few new projects since last month. We're doing some green community stuff for Clinton, their annual report and their final report for their most recent grant. We're doing a project for Ashburnham under a community compact grant to review their zoning bylaws. We got a new contract to do MBTA communities with Lancaster through our consulting services with Mass Housing Partnership. And we got a contract for updating AIR's hazard mitigation plan. And like Glenn said, we got the filter grant from EDA, and that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Karen. Does anybody have any questions for Karen? Not hearing, I'll move on to transit and transportation. Um, Anybody have any comments on that? Brad, do you have anything for us?
The only thing I have to say is there's a JTC meeting next Wednesday on the 10th, and then there will be a meeting of the MPO on excuse me, the following week on the 17th. And the major items for both will be endorsement of the Transportation Improvement Program for FFY 2024 to 28 and the FFY 24 Unified Planning Work Program. And then hopefully in the following months of June and July, the main topic will be the Regional Transportation Plan, its release of the draft, and eventual endorsement hopefully in July.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any questions of Brad? Not hearing any. That pretty well covers that, our three departments. The next item on the agenda is new business. Does anybody have any new business they'd like to bring before the board or anything they'd like to comment on?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Karen.
I just want to say one more thing to everybody. As you can see by the contract status report, if you've read it or not, there are, I don't remember how many pages it is, but there's, it feels like a million projects, and I just want everybody to try and be patient with us as we work through all of these projects. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Just for note, the contact status report is 19 pages. So there's a heck of a lot of information there in regards to all towns. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, this is Barbara. I just
Yes, Barbara.
wanted to let you all know that Shirley has resoundingly passed the Community Preservation Act for the first time ever, and we're very excited.
Fantastic.
Congratulations, Barbara.
Thank you. Yes, there was a big effort, and
Yeah, here.
yes, thank you.
Kudos to
Well,
you because yeah, go ahead,
On
Barbara.
that note, I just want to say at Townsend's town meeting on Tuesday night, they refused to pass it. So congratulations.
Well, that's, yeah, it took many years to get to this point, so we are all celebrating.
Yeah, I have to say Winchendon failed to pass it again for the third time, so kudos to your town.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting, actually very early for a change.
So moved.
Barbara Yocum, second. Alan P. second. Nobody objects. I'll call the roll. Alan Pease. Amanda Reed.
Aye.
Barbara Yocum.
Aye.
Let's see. Going down here. Mary Jo Bohart.
Aye.
Brad Cosilla, chair votes aye. Christopher Monroe.
Aye.
Kyle Nartowitz. Laura Schifrin.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Peter Cunningham.
Cunningham, aye.
Roger Hoyt.
Aye.
And last but not least, Stacy Donahue on my list here.
Aye.
Okay, is there anybody I missed? Because we do have a call at 3 here, so. Guess not. Otherwise, it's this meeting is adjourned at 7:30. Everybody have a great day. Thank you very much.
You, good night.
Good night, everybody.